Welcome to the Dragon Center in Hangzhou for a historic event, the first ever Slamball game played in China, the Maulers versus the Slashers. And here are your starting lineups.
For the Maulers, keep an eye on Stan Fletcher at the gunner position. This guy's incredibly creative with the ball. And for the Slashers, Bryce Arledge really scoring a lot of points in training camp, and Adam Hooker, arguably the best stopper ever at the position.
I'm Darren Flam, joined by the creator of Slamball, Mason Gordon, as we get set to get underway here in Hangzhou. And the ball is in play, and here we go. And Carlson takes the ricochet off it from the handler position and will move the ball into the front court. Tosses it into the island. The Slashers love to move the ball, and they're going to have a tough job against Rodney Bond, who gets a big stop there on Carlson, who picks up the loose ball, shoves it to Arledge, fights it up, and dips it over Bond for the score.
Arledge, mostly a power player, but every now and then he'll surprise you with a little filthy finesse. Here Arledge draws Bond up high above the rim and then drops the filthy teardrop just over the top.
Maulers waste no time in counter. Sean inches Jackson, comes up inches short on that play, and here come the Slashers. Arledge in a counter, goes up high against Bond, who denies him! Ball stays with the Slashers, though Carlson ends up with it, tosses it back to Arledge, who jams!
Yeah, Arledge really smashed that, gave a little fist pump there at the end for emphasis. He got mauled by Bond the first time around, but stays in his scheme, gets the big oop from Carlson. Just what is this crazy game called Slamball? Let's take a closer look.
Slamball is the ultimate hybrid. It's the perfect combination of football's hits and basketball's skill played well above the rim and hard into the glass. Supercharged tramps give new meaning to sky high, while full contact 5-minute quarters and a 20-second shot clock set a new standard for high-paced action. On this court, teams play 4-on-4. The handler pushes the ball up to the gunners. They'll have to get by the stopper if they want a chance at 3 points. That's right, dunks count for 3. Everything else inside the arc is 2, and there are no free throws on this court. Instead, it's man-on-man face-off, Slamball style. High-flying, bone-crunching, non-stop action. This is Slamball.
Lee working it into the island for the Maulers. They love to probe in that island area. Jackson with it, tosses it back to Stan, who shoots up the long ball and nails it.
And you'll see no hesitation there from Fletcher. Stan Fletcher can hurt you in the air, but he's also deadly from distance.
Back toss to Carlson, denied by Bond. Bond right there at his stopper position, digs it away from Carlson, and here come the Maulers. Inches up to Lee. Lee probing that island, looking for Fletcher. Here's Stan with the ball, bounce to himself, a little freestyle. We'll get more into that later on. Fletcher back in, another bounce to himself, up high, and Hooker recovers and blocks it away from Fletcher. Carlson with the rebound, tosses it out there to Arledge, and it's too long. Fletcher coming back in transition, crosses over Carlson, hits the springs, and spring loads into Hooker's face. Oh my goodness!
That was nasty. A sick crossover there from Fletcher at the midcourt. He was committed to the outside tramp, brought it back to the center, and just went boosties.
Here comes the quick answer, looking for Arledge, deep 3.
Arledge a power player, but he really has unlimited range out to about 25 feet, which I guess would be limited range.
Here comes the Maulers with a quick strike. Lee gets the pass from Fletcher and jams it before Hooker can recover.
Nice work by Fletcher there. He gets into the springs in order to draw Hooker in and then throws a nice looping pass to Lee. Lee too big and strong at the gunner position for Hooker to stop.
And here comes Carlson, tosses it up to Scotty Campbell. Campbell looks at Carlson on a dive cut, but he'll just reset. Looks back to Scotty. Scotty goes up, creates differential, and puts it up and in with a finger roll.
That's what you want to see if you're a Slashers fan. Scotty Campbell, all this ball movement is designed to create the situation where the gunner is low and the stopper is high. Campbell sees that, elevates over the top.
Lee fights for the ball, gets it off the glass, swing pass cross court. There's Fletcher, a deep 3, and he nails it. 9 of 12 for the Maulers by Fletcher, but back come the Slashers, but nothing doing as the long arms of Rodney Bond just there as he snatches that ball out of the air.
Yeah, funny story about Bond. He was an MMA fighter for a while, and the opposing fight managers were complaining about his absurd reach over everyone else at 6'6".
And right now, the only ones complaining about Rodney Bond are the Slashers as he denies again. Look at him just bouncing, controlling that area inside the island, Mason.
The Slashers are probing, trying to get around Bond, but there's Bond with another deflection. Rodney Bond really showing his value to the Maulers right now. But what about Fletcher? 75% of the Maulers' offensive production and 66% of that production from the outside the three-point line.
Fletcher attacks the Springs, bounces it, and jams it on. Oh my goodness! Just went dunk contest on him.
Dunk contest in the game. That little toss off the Springs really created an advantage for Fletcher.
And there goes Arledge, but Bond there to deny him. Kicks it out of bounds. Rodney Bond, 100% effort.
Rodney Bond is a beast on defense, but Fletcher is beast mode on offense with the huge windmill off the bounce. Fletcher throws that little bounce off the Springs and then goes massive on Hooker.
Up into the front court. Will the Maulers get another shot off before the end of the quarter? Does not look like it, and that's it. 15-10. Maulers leading the Slashers on a high-flying first quarter.
Yeah, what a great way to start off Slamball here in China. Offense looked really sharp there for both teams. As we look at the leading scorers, Stan Fletcher with 12 points, Bond with 6 stops, Adam Hooker only 2 stops in that first quarter.
Maulers led by former NBA All-Star Kenny Anderson, while the Slashers being led by Coach Kevin Stapleton, the AAU legend out of Los Angeles. Lucky enough here tonight to see some of the best gunners in the game.
Absolutely the best.
Stan Fletcher, Scotty Campbell, and Bryce Arledge all doing their thing here early in China. Let's take a closer look at that gunner position.
In Slamball, you basically got 3 positions. You got the handler, the gunner, and the stopper.
The gunner position is the person who's going to do all the scoring.
It's the gunner's job to get out on the break and score the ball by any means necessary.
Those are the high flyers, the ones that get in the tramps, they jump up and down.
They can be any size, they just have to have good ability on the tramps to get good height.
You got to be good at a lot of things. You got to be good at your awareness when you're in the air.
They want to take that ball to the hoop. They want to jam the ball, the stopper, and anybody else who gets in their way.
Hoping to receive good passes so they can go up and do the McNasty 360 between the legs.
You can have the high-flying, acrobatic type, intimidating, bruising types of gunners. The entire package, you know, personality, skill on the court, clutch, big shots when the team needs it most. It's a totally different skill, and we're looking for guys that are elite.
Start of the second quarter in Hangzhou.
Stan Fletcher really carrying the offensive load for the Maulers as the official puts the ball in play.
And Rodney Bond has slipped into the offensive set, a 4-man overload. Looks for Fletcher, it's got him, but he's pushed by Bryce Arledge. We got a penalty.
Fletcher taking off from the wood going into the Springs. Once that back foot comes off the ground, the defense can't touch him. Bryce will be in a face-off here. And here we go with Slamball's penalty shot. The face-off. This should be a good one.
Fletcher springs up at Arledge, who has none of it. Denies him. Great defensive positioning by Bryce Arledge.
Arledge with perfect position there, up in front of the rim. Big, tall, waist high to the rim. Gives Fletcher nowhere to go on that straight-ahead attack.
Arledge and Fletcher getting into it. Best of friends, though, off the court, right, Mason?
Yeah, well, best of friends for them, meaning they get into between 3 and 5 fist fights a week.
And the ball thrown out of bounds. There's some jawing going on then. Wait, a technical foul being called on Stan Fletcher.
Yeah, technical foul. Your first one's a warning. Second one, you're out of the game. You see Fletcher there jawing with the official. He's known to be emotionally volatile.
According to the 3 to 5 fights a week, I would say so. Campbell looking in for Arledge. On a stretch cut, comes across, has to reset though. Back to Scotty, but he can't get himself reset, and that's a turnover.
Mental error there by Scotty Campbell. Coming out of the Springs, players need to put the ball off the glass in order to reset their dribble. Scotty Campbell failed to do so. That is a turnover.
Back come the Maulers, and here comes the toss to OMG! WTF! What just happened?
I'm not totally sure there. Huge alley-oop from Lee, but Fletcher has to get around Hooker, who's in great position, so he comes with the double-handed windmill back to the left. I don't want to see Jordan-esque, but maybe Fletcher-ish?
So back come the Slashers. Arledge dives in and flips it by Rodney Bond. Bond hasn't been beaten much today. Got beat there.
Bryce Arledge switching from the right hand to the left hand in midair. As Inches explodes off the top tramp, that is a lot of inches in Hooker's face.
Back come the Slashers. Harris denied by Bond, who is just dominating the defense here in the second quarter again for the Maulers. A deep three thrown up by Carlson, no good. Picked up there by Inches, out to Lee in midcourt, looking for Fletcher. Can he do something magical? He's not gonna get the chance. That's a big foul committed by Lee.
Whoa, James Lee just blows up Carlson. Offensive shoving, something to avoid in Slamball and real life.
Got that right. So a timeout being called by the Slashers, 21-12.
Kenny Anderson got to be happy with his troops out big, but halfway through the second quarter, Kevin Stapleton trying to rally the Slashers.
Let's take a look again at this sweeping layup here by Bryce Arledge. Great move, switches to the left hand and slips it by Rodney Bond.
Yeah, that was really feathery, and this was not.
No, it was not indeed.
How old do you think Inches is?
28, 29?
Try 40. And we stopped counting at 40.
As the dunk is missed by Carlson, the ball ends up with Arledge hits a deep three. That stops the bleeding for the Slashers.
And here comes Inches, Father Time himself. And the guy's a freak of nature, I'm telling you.
Definitely looked like it on that play a few moments ago as the ball's knocked away by Carlson. Good defense by the Slashers. Back up to Harrison. He attacks that center tramp, but there's Rodney Bond to deny them again, just controlling that center area.
Bond's definitely getting it done. And there, Fletcher drawing a foul from Josh Carlson. Carlson with some contact in the back. That's going to draw another face-off.
So he's got what he wants. Let's see if he can complete this face-off. Up he goes, but denied! How did Carlson do that?
For all of you people out there who thought Carlson was going to eat that ball, don't underestimate the little gutty white guy. Josh Carlson sticks his nose in this play and refuses to give up the bucket.
I mean, Fletcher was up a good foot higher. Somehow Carlson still denied him on that face-off. What a play.
Maybe it's the Jesus hair.
Maybe it is. Back come the Maulers. It's knocked away by Hooker, and another great hustle play. Carlson comes up with it, swings it up. Campbell hits the springs, fakes out Bond. Here comes Harrison up and in. Nice play by Brandon Harrison.
And that is Brandon Harrison's game. Watch how he stays to the bottom corner, keeps the ball away from the stopper, and then just elevates for the big power dunk.
Rick Maiden coming up, jumps up, and slowly somehow dunked that in. That was a slow developing play.
That was a Bugs Bunny screwball pitch if I've ever seen it.
Campbell goes up, but denied! A huge block and a backflip by Bond. Here come the Maulers, and it's up. Maiden with a back toss. Look at Fletcher with a double tramp stamp. Oh my goodness!
Fletcher really used his teammate well there, set him up on the island, came over his shoulder, and made Hooker pay.
5 seconds to go. Here comes Carlson, dumps it. Campbell jumps up, quick dunk, and gets it in before Bond can block that. Unbelievable finish to this half, Mason. 27-21. Maulers will take the lead.
Slashers are really showing signs of life there at the end of the second quarter. As we look at the halftime leaders, Dan Fletcher, 17 points at the gunner spot.
What do we need to see from the teams moving forward into the second half, Mason?
The Maulers are getting contributions from all their players, not so on the Slashers. And Stan Fletcher way out in front making it happen. And it's a good thing, too, because we prepared this feature for you to get a chance to get to know him better.
My name is Stan Fletcher, aka Shakes. I play for the Maulers, 28 years old.
Stan Fletcher, the joke is that he's from a planet where they already had Slamball.
You know, he's the best player in the league.
He is the Michael Jordan of this here.
Well, Stan is special in the fact that there's never been anybody that I think the sport has been so well fit for, because he's so natural on the tramps.
It was like taking a fish that was flopping around on the land and putting it in the water, and it just went. And that was Stan.
I watch some of the things he does, and I'm like, why can't I do that? And you just look at it and marvel, like, Stan was really made for this game.
Here you see Stan Fletcher and Adam Hooker, definitely two of the best players ever to play the sport.
Stan definitely getting the better of Adam a couple times in the first half. You think Adam's going to have any problems with those Hooker jokes we had?
You know, every now and then I think Adam Hooker might get a little upset about jokes about his name, but then I take a look at him and realize he's wearing a Hooker 69 jersey by choice.
Yes, I guess we've answered the sense of humor question when it comes to Adam Hooker. As Carlson's got it now, he looks for Arledge, can't control it, but he does dig it out and he'll reset off the glass. Carlson now looking and throws it away to James Lee of the Maulers, and back they come in transition. Here comes Fletcher up, leaves it for Inches. Nice back pass to Fletcher.
Look out.
They look, can't find Lee on the back toss, and we're going to have a turnover.
Yeah, their turnover there is the Maulers. Inches Jackson encroached on the springs after a loose ball. That'll be a turnover. But the Maulers doing some really interesting things offensively, as Bond there really asserting himself defensively.
What a great challenge again by Bond, altering everything at the rim. And here comes Inches. He takes it up. Oh my goodness. Here comes Lee. Double tramp stamp complete. What a play by the Maulers.
Sean Jackson making it happen, as you see Rodney Bond really challenging that from Arledge, and then Inches draws Hooker all the way in, dishes it off to Lee at the last possible moment, who jackknifes for the big finish.
Slashers need an answer here. Arledge, dive cut, comes up but sees Bond, chickens out, throws it over to Carlson, who throws up a long three. No! Air ball.
I hope that was a pass.
So does he. Here comes Fletcher, dumps it to Inches, who throws it back. Oh my goodness! What a back toss alley-oop to Stan Fletcher.
Fletcher has been doing that move, but taking it to the bottom corners, and that's what Hooker anticipated, but Fletcher just went sky high with the huge poop on Hooker.
Oh my goodness. Doesn't look like he did get the rim, so only 2 points for Fletcher, and back come the Slashers. And that ball denied again by Bond. Just dominating. Arledge challenges, but tries to throw it over Bond. Harrison with the rebound, up and in. But even on that play, it had Bond's name all over it.
Bond is getting his hand on every single ball out there.
And you see it, only 2 points there for Harrison is not a dunk. You have to dunk to get 3 points. Hot Dog Chen into the game for the first time for the Maulers. He throws it back, Inches corrals it, throws it, and it's a nice little tap pass from Shen. Ends up back with Inches, who throws it up before the shot clock and before Adam Hooker's set.
Jackson with 5 points now, making a really solid contribution both at the rim and in the mid-range game. Hot Dog Chen, a street baller from Shanghai. I know the coaching staff is really high on this kid. They like him.
What a play there by Josh Carlson. Dive all the way in, got up before Rodney Bond could even get set.
And Josh Carlson would be the first to tell you it's his job to attack the rim when the stopper isn't paying attention.
And a bad pass here by Lee goes back into the backcourt. What a hustle play! Josh Carlson beats Fletcher to the ball.
Josh Carlson really dominating the game here with his hustle. He's the only guy on the floor getting after each and every loose ball.
Time winding down, and here's Scotty Campbell with the flip. Up and in, and he beats the shot clock. He also beats the quarter buzzer, just like he did at the end of the half. And the Maulers still leading, but Slasher still hanging around.
Stan Fletcher with 20 points, Rodney Bond 13 stops, but the Slashers making a good push there in that third quarter. They're getting contributions across the board. You see Scotty Campbell here looking at the opportunity out of the mid-range game, making that little floater, and then Josh Carlson coming through. But the major workhorse for the Slashers, big Bryce Arledge, who's giving it all to you tonight. He's knocking out down 2 for 3 for outside jumpers. He's hitting a lot of these floaters up and over the dominant Rodney Bond, and then when he gets the opportunity, knocking down the big power flushes. Let's learn a little more about this big gunner.
Bryce Arledge went from being kind of a role player that didn't really know where he fit in to now, I don't think there's anybody that can match up with him on the wing.
I grew up in a community outside of San Fernando Valley called Agora. Basically a hotbed for athletes. I ran track, Pop Warner football for a couple years, and then I found basketball. In high school, I was on my own a lot, and I ran around the streets, getting in fights, getting beat up, doing the wrong thing, wrong crowd. You know, got kicked out of high school. I'm not proud of it, but then I worked my way back and played basketball for my high school, basically trying to keep myself out of trouble.
I really think we're going to witness the blossoming of a breakout star that we never even knew we had.
Fourth quarter at the Dragon Center. Maulers out in front of the Slashers. Only 5 minutes remaining. What do the Slashers need to do to get back into this game?
The Slashers need to keep going to Bryce Arledge because he's given them their best percentage opportunities as James Lee runs a brush screen on the right side. Oh, nice set, but Hooker was not fooled by that. Fletcher gets a good deflection here.
And that was a great play by Hooker to not bite on the fake, but a bad pass, and it's intercepted by Fletcher. Bounce to himself, hits the second spring, and then hangs a hoop on Hooker. What a play.
That was nice. 22 points for Fletcher now as Bond really shutting down, putting a lid on that rim against the Slashers.
But this time it's Carlson. Oh my goodness, the smallest man on the floor takes it right at Rodney Bond.
Carlson exhibiting air superiority here. See how he lands right after Rodney Bond does? It boosts him to the next level and he rides that popcorn effect.
A little weave action run here by the Maulers. Beautiful ball movement happening right now. Here comes Fletcher, hits the springs, dumps it off, inches up and over. Nice flip on Hooker.
I really like that set that they're running. They keep moving until they get the shot they want.
And again, denied. Campbell by Bond, his 15th stop as the Maulers come in transition. But what a block this time by Hooker.
Best stop of the night by Adam Hooker. Watch out. If he gets his rhythm, the Slashers can make a lot of room in a hurry.
And he disrupts that shot by Lee, the best possession of the game defensively for Adam Hooker. And here comes the Slashers, a reset. Arledge gives it up to Carlson, who's denied by the rim. Uh-oh, look out.
And that might be the best defensive play of the night by the rim on that side of the court.
And here it goes. Oh, backflip and put in by Fletcher. And here come the Slashers. Arledge, he'll have to reset. Throws it to Carlson, who hits the quick layup. No, back up and jams it. What a great effort play by Carlson.
There was a lot going on there. Carlson's body momentum was taking him to the baseline, but he was able to redirect for the score.
Maiden attacks, but it's denied. Hooker has come to life here in this fourth quarter.
Hooker's doubled his defensive output for the entire game right here in this quarter.
And there's a sweet move by Arledge, swinging around.
A lot of people don't realize those perimeter tramps are 15 feet away from the basket at their closest point. So guys are taking off from the free throw line and out.
And here come the Maulers, and it's jammed in! Oh my goodness, Fletcher is in from nowhere. The Slashers need to talk it over. Let's take a look, Mason, at some of these fourth quarter high-flying histrionics.
This is kind of a nutty quarter for highlights. You get Fletcher making brilliant reads in the springs, Carlson hustling all over the court, getting every garbage bucket available, and then just really beautiful plays like this Arledge off the glass number. Outreaching Bond on that. And then, what do you say about this? The boostometer is just out of control. Fletcher just coming through in the fourth quarter.
Back to the action. Here comes Carlson. Bond patrolling the middle, and Carlson has to reset. Carlson hits the springs. High toss. Harrison puts it down. Beautiful play from the Slashers.
The Slashers have been setting this up all night long, trying to get Bond to commit all the way over to one side to open up the back door. Harrison's their specialist there on that side.
Harrison's up so high, he was almost parallel to the rim. And back come the Maulers. A little weave ends up with Fletcher. Can he knock it down? No! And a big opportunity coming up for the Slashers. Here comes Carlson, resets it off the glass. Into Arledge, doesn't go up with it. He throws it into the corner, loose ball. Who's gonna come up with it? Campbell, and wait a minute, is that a win? It's a penalty, we're gonna have a face-off.
Sean Jackson cannot believe the call. Here he gets his arm trapped underneath Campbell's. The official looks like a scrum to them. They call the face-off. This is the most critical shot of the game for the Slashers.
Campbell comes in, power jam right over Jackson, just went hard and fast. And the Slashers are within two.
That is gigantic. With his 10th point of the game, Scott Campbell goes right through Sean Jackson and is going to give the Slashers the ball with a chance to win.
And it's Slasher's ball after a face-off. Offensive team retains possession. Hooker throws it in. Arledge has got it. He's got him beat, but he can't complete the shot. Oh my goodness, so close.
Heartbreaking for the Slashers. They got what they wanted. Arledge on a double stack. They made the pass, and he just couldn't finish at the rim. Now they need to play some defense.
Here comes Fletcher. He'll give it up. The shot is put up, but no, it didn't hit the rim. The clock does not reset. He throws it out. Lee for a deep three. The ball is loose. Who's going to get it? It's Stan Fletcher. And that'll end the game fittingly for the Maulers, who will hang on for a 44-42 victory.
And how about Fletcher with the diving hustle play to preserve the Mauler victory? Really incredible stuff.
Stan the man Fletcher with 27 points. But how about Rodney Bond controlling the defensive end with 16 stops?
Really an incredible display all night long from the Maulers and the Slashers. Stan Fletcher dialing in from deep. The Slashers were able to move the ball when they needed to. And then Josh Carlson coming through with some really big plays there. Rodney Bond, Stan Fletcher, yinging and yanging it on both ends of the court.
Couldn't ask for a better start to this tournament here in China than the Maulers and the Slashers put on. And there you see him. And one more shot here of our MVP. There he is, Stan Fletcher, 27 points with a dominating performance. So from the Dragon Center in Hangzhou, that's Mason Gordon. I'm Darren Flam. This is Slamball.